This is a journey into the heart of Hakka history, culture, economics, and most importantly, identity. From the mountainous regions of China to the vibrant shores of Malaysia, we follow the footprints of the Hakka. Our research explores the question, how have the Hakka maintained their unique cultural identity across generations and continents? Under the direction of Mr. Folman, this video series summarizes his journey through Malaysia. Join us as we uncover the legacy of the Hakka in Malaysia, a tale of migration, tradition, and hard work. The story of the Hakka people spans centuries, marked by resilience, community, and achievement. From their origins in the north of China to their migration across Southeast Asia, the Hakka community's journey reflects both survival and success. The northern regions of China were politically and economically dominant, but as the population grew, people moved to the southern provinces in search for arable land and new opportunities.
First of all, the south of China was Sinicized, became Chinese, a little bit later than the rest. So people from the north must have moved south, they must have met other populations and probably have mixed with them to some degree.
These early migrations laid the foundation of the Hakka's later identity as settlers. The term Hakka literally means guest families. This name emerges from their status as late migrants, often settling in less fertile and mountainous regions such as provinces like Guangdong, Fujian, and Jiangxi, after earlier groups had claimed the prime lands.
The first settlers, of course, in the south settled in the most fertile, best lands that there were. And that somehow created these spaces of Guangdong around Guangzhou area, which is very fertile and flat and warm. And on the other side, Fujian, this province, behind the mountains. There are natural barriers and you have different economic areas where people stuck together more than they had contact with other parts.
Centuries later, the colonial era brought significant changes to Southeast Asia, creating new economic opportunities that coincided with waves of Hakka migration.
In olden times, you could only migrate if you lived relatively close to the sea. The colonial powers entered China from Guangzhou, then Hong Kong, to some degree from Shanghai, and from Chaozhou. Guangzhou and Chaozhou, these were Chinese cities at the sea.
British colonization played a pivotal role in drawing Hakka to Malaysia, particularly for labor in tin mines and plantations.
The Hakka territory specifically was totally underdeveloped. That's why these people decided to go away. They could go to Malaya, for instance, because there was tin mining.
Majority tin mining.
In Malaysia, the Hakka established themselves in cities like Penang, Malacca, and Kuala Lumpur. They were instrumental in the development of local economies, particularly in tin mining, trade, and agriculture.
The British tin mining corporations needed workers, and so the Chinese came. But the Chinese also do some business, and they started doing shops and so on. And so after a short while, you have a sizable Chinese community everywhere.
Early migrants often arrived penniless, but were supported by clan associations.
Because the newcomers had nowhere to go, no money, nothing, they relied very much on the newly founded Huiguan, which we might loosely translate as clan associations.
These networks provided essential resources for the migrants such as shelter, jobs, and social connections. They ensured survival and integration while preserving Hakka traditions.
Until the British forbade them this name, because these companies arranged around people from the same area, China, quickly had a blurred line between being an association and being a mafia. To this day, you have these traditional organizations of the Huiguan. Today, they totally don't have this function anymore. First of all, no new people are coming, and if they're coming, they don't have these needs. There are Chinese moving to Malaysia still, but they are wealthy.
Opium is one to relax mind, but I would say opium was used as a kind of drug to calm us down. It's a painkiller, right? Yes. It's just that over indulgence become a big problem for whole China.
The Opium Wars further shaped the Hakka community.
British love the Chinese to smoke opium, where you pay a lot of tax. To get this to sell opium, you need to get license. They call it revenue fund. Yeah, and it's not like everyone can get. You have to bid for it. Every year they have a quota. How many opium traders? You have to bid for the license, so you pay a lot of money for that. So there's a vicious cycle. The poor laborer, Chinese laborer came, they work so hard that they need to smoke opium and they sell. So these tin miners, they also sell opium to their workers. So the money come back in. So finally, the Chinese trying to come back, ban opium, but too late. British always so strong. You have to buy my opium, otherwise Hong Kong lost.
These conflicts, fought between China and Britain, resulted in the ceding of key territories, including Guangzhou, Kaohsiung, and later Hong Kong.
After the Opium War, they took Hong Kong. At first, they only took the island. That was now their big port for doing business with China. And many Chinese people moved there because it was a business opportunity.
Hong Kong became a hub for Hakka migration, with many of its rural areas initially dominated by Hakka-speaking villages.
So Hong Kong was actually more or less Hakka-speaking territory. And when Hong Kong became big because of the British, then so many people from Guangzhou and so on came here that Cantonese became the dominant language.
As Cantonese speakers moved in, the dominance of the Hakka language waned. However, migration was not limited to economic opportunity. Many Hakka fled political turmoil in China, including the Taiping Rebellion, one of the most devastating events in Chinese history. The rise of communism in the 20th century also shaped the trajectory of Hakka migration. During this period, the socio-political landscape in China was marked by land reforms, purges, and famine. Many Hakka families left China to escape these upheavals, particularly during the Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution. This period saw another wave of Hakka migration as families sought stability abroad. Many Hakka moved to Malaysia, where they could leverage existing community networks and contribute to the growing economy. In Malaysia, many began as labourers in tin mines, an industry dominated by British colonial interests. Over time, the Hakka transitioned from labour to entrepreneurship, establishing businesses and carving out niches in local economies. They were often pioneers in finding niches that others overlooked.
They went to town to work. And when you go as a migrant to another town, of course, you are somehow from a lower class because there are already owners of shops who will employ you. The Hakkas were quite good at finding a marginal economy, doing something nobody else was doing, and then even getting rich very often. And this pattern repeated itself when they migrated outside of China.
Today, the Hakka people are an integrated part of Malaysian society and other global communities. While traditional practices have evolved, the Hakka identity remains strong, bolstered by cultural revival efforts. In Taiwan, for example, the Hakka identity has received special recognition as part of the island's multicultural heritage.
In Taipei, you hear every place name in Mandarin, Hokkien, Hakka, and English. So they really promote that. And they promote it as a Taiwanese Hakka identity.
Initiatives such as multilingual street signs, cultural festivals, and the promotion of the Hakka language have helped preserve and celebrate the Hakka's heritage. In China, efforts to reconnect with overseas Hakka communities have gained momentum. The World Hakka Conference, held in major cities, highlights the cultural and historical significance of the Hakka people.
In the last few years, Hakka-ness became very important. It is great because you can really go to it is a much bigger Hakka society in China, and Hakka towns, the roundhouses and all kinds of things. And all of that is now very well promoted as some local tradition. The overseas Chinese love to come and see that, where their grandfathers were coming from.
Today, many Hakka descendants hold prominent positions in business and industry, contributing significantly to the economic development of Malaysia and beyond. Their hard work and determination have earned them a reputation for success. Despite challenges, they have consistently embraced education and innovation, enabling them to thrive across generations. However, the preservation of the Hakka language and traditions face challenges. Globalization, urbanization, and the adoption of standard languages such as Mandarin have contributed to a decline in Hakka speakers.
The young people seem to shift to Putonghua, still understand Hakka, but perhaps don't use it all the time or don't use it at all.
Despite this, cultural festivals, cuisine, and revival events continue to serve as anchor for the Hakka identity. The Hakka community has transitioned from tin mining to modern industries, with many members achieving success in business and politics.
Statistically higher number of Hakkas were politicians than other groups in China. So Hakkas were very much interested in getting education and becoming civil servants and engage in politics.
Throughout history, the Hakka have played prominent roles in political movements, both in China and abroad. Their struggles with marginalization and their focus on education drove them to seek political influence as a means of securing their community's future. Their contributions to politics, culture, and society stand as testament to their resilience, endurance, and achievement. Their story is a testament to the power of community, culture, and perseverance. As the Hakka continue to evolve, their legacy serves as a source of pride and inspiration for future generations.